Welcome to the WarriorHER Podcast, a show dedicated to those looking to excel in business, life, and family. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Nikki, and we're sharing the stories of remarkable women making their mark on the world, sharing the valuable lessons they've learned and the wisdom they've gained along the way.
'Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause even when I lose, I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now.
Welcome to the WarriorHER Podcast, where we celebrate the stories of remarkable women who are making an impact in their field. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with Alana Scott, the visionary founder and CEO of Kinkz hair products. She is not just a trailblazer in the beauty industry, she's a dedicated mompreneur, and she's an inspiring speaker and a transformative coach. Her brand, Kinkz Hair Products, is renowned for celebrating and nourishing natural hair, promoting inclusivity, and fostering self-love. Her journey is a testament to the resilience and passion she empowers individuals to embrace their authentic selves and unlock their full potential. Through her innovative products, motivational speaking engagements, and coaching sessions, Alana continues to inspire countless others, and I am thrilled to have her here with us. Some other things that we're also that we need to highlight about her is that her mission goes far beyond business. She's a champion, like we said, of inclusivity and self-love, which we'll talk a little more about. And she's inspired many people in the Louisiana region and beyond through her innovative hair products and her personal journey through resilience and her passion for what she's doing. So welcome to the WarriorHER Podcast, Alana. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on the podcast and share my story and hopefully some gems that help some women like myself who needed, I heard from many founders who really helped lift me during my journey. So I hope I can do the same.
She has a really powerful story. Story. I just put journey and story together. Sterney. That was it. A little behind the scene too. So we met Alana and Nikki and I. Nikki's not here today, guys. If you're realizing she's not here, she's currently in flight, so she's not here today. But we met you at actually one of your pitch events on the North Shore. And right. So that was our first time hearing your story. And yes. She won that pitch, y'all, by the way. She won that day. But it wasn't just that. It was the way that you so beautifully told your story. So I'm very honored that you're here. Very grateful that you're here because, number one, representation, but also your story really is just very powerful. So I'm very excited to share it with other people who are listening. And I know they're going to get a lot of value from it. But will you be able to just tell us about the journey and what inspired you to start Kinkz Hair Products?
Yes. So the funny thing is when I first started Kinkz Hair Products, I intended for it to strictly solve a problem. So I was newly natural. I had chemically straightened hair my entire life. And I was working as a director of operations in corporate America. So what I was finding, also being a mother of four, was that I have this new textured hair that I had no clue was even under my straight hair. I didn't have tools to figure out, to tie it up. I didn't have the time to learn it. I know some women enjoy the journey. I didn't have the time for the journey. So I was faced with being a mother of four, having this big job in corporate America, and having no time to even learn my new hair. So I didn't have the tools. I had nothing. And what really blew my mind was that no one had created a tool that you could just use to tie your hair up. And I'm like, I just need something quick. I don't need something that's made for hairstylists. I need something that's made for the average mom like me, who has a busy lifestyle, who needs something very quick and easy. And it's not something that's hard to figure out because, again, this is something that was new to me. And so what I was already using was a shoestring And I know a lot of women relate to that. I was using a shoestring to tie my hair up, and that was doing the job, but it was really pulling my hair out a lot. And so I said, somebody they had to have created this, and it was non-existent. So I made a terrible drawing. I drew it up, sent it to a manufacturer to have created, and they brought it to life. And the thing is, I really intended for it to be like a side hustle. I didn't want to go full-time as an entrepreneur, even though it was all through my family. My dad was a serial entrepreneur. I just had no interest in it. I didn't want it to be hard. I just wanted to solve a problem, because I knew if I was going through it, other women were too. And that's just how God works. I started off saying, oh, this is just going to be a side hustle. And next thing I know, I'm going full-time in 2022 into this business. And it was the best decision I ever made, because I realized that what I was trying to turn away from was my actual purpose. I just wanted easy. And normally when you go the route of your purpose, it's much harder than what you think is going to be. So that was how it started. I started off, again, just trying to solve a problem. And it evolved into a mission. It evolved into my purpose. So it's been a great journey.
Wow. And I don't know if you caught that. I didn't say that in the intro because I forgot. Like, I heard it when you said you had 4 kids. And no, I don't ever meet anyone who also has 4 kids, I feel like. So that was really inspiring for me too, even just as a person, because it's like, oh, okay. So she did it with kids, and like, that's really amazing. So what challenges have you faced so far, like since launching? And if you want to share a story with us, and how did you overcome it?
Absolutely. So just like you said, having 4 kids, first of all, that's a huge challenge. When I took the leap of faith, I did it because I was trying to be full-time in corporate America and full-time in my business. And it just was impossible. I said, if I really want this to get off the ground, if I really want to fulfill the vision God showed me, I have to do one or the other. I had to make a choice. And I can say that was one of the biggest challenges, was taking that leap of faith, because it wasn't that I didn't believe what God showed me, is I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my business. I didn't believe that my product was something that women really wanted. Even though I had heard nothing but the opposite, I still didn't believe in myself. So that was one of my greatest challenges to overcome. But beyond that, it was also putting yourself out there. I am a natural born introvert, like my dad. So I wanted to be behind the scenes in the business. I didn't want to have to put myself out there. But there was no way that business was going to grow if I didn't start talking on social media and actually going out and scheduling, going out to events and showcasing my business and explaining my brand to people, everyone that I had the opportunity to catch their ear. That was a huge challenge for me. And I think that's something so many founders run into, because we may have a great product, we may have a great idea, but no one said that I was, I wanted to talk to all of these people about it. Like, I just look at the pictures. They're great. Look at my website. I wanted that to be self-explanatory, but that was a challenge that honestly helped mold who I am right now, because I would have never expected myself to be on stage at pitch competitions and speaking to people about my brand and my product and my journey. But having to put myself out there, it shaped me. It helped me get on those stages. It helped me to become the speaker that I am today, because I had no choice. So sometimes those challenges, it definitely did that for me.
What does a typical day look like for you as the CEO? And specifically, how do you like balance your time? Are you a time blocker? Do you set certain days? And then also, to add to that further, is like, how did you decide to make your days like the most efficient? Was it trial and error? Tell us about that.
Absolutely. My entire journey has been trial and error. I never had it fully figured out, even though, again, I came from corporate America. Something in me when I first left corporate America told me to just leave it behind. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to even use my brain that I used in corporate America. I'm in my own business now. I'm an entrepreneur. That's it. But then I soon realized in the journey that I went through that time, which was 8 years, to apply that knowledge to my business. So while I'm sitting here trying to figure out, because at first I started with no plan. I had no idea what I was doing. I was winging it every day. When I was a director of operations and I had a daily routine and I had organizational tools and I was able to structure my planner and I was amazing at emails. So I don't know what made me shut that door as soon as I left. But once I had that moment to really understand that I need that knowledge, I learned that knowledge for a reason. I opened that door really fast and I started to apply it to my business. And I had the privilege of working with a lot of different department heads at my last job. And what that did was it exposed me to how they operated as far as director of accounting. Now I understand her world and how she had us to become organized in our finances. And director of marketing, I was able to think back to the meetings we had with the director of marketing and how he organized his schedule for this other business. So using that knowledge, it helped to shape me. And what I did was I took my planner and I made a day for every department because, you know, as an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you're everything to your business. So on Monday, it was marketing. On Tuesday, it's facilities. On Wednesdays, it's operations. Thursdays, it's sales. Fridays, finances. And it's not because you have to wear your CEO cap pretty much every day. So it's not me saying the full day is strictly finances, but it's me taking that time to say for at least the first 3 hours of the day, the full morning, I'm going to dedicate it to finances. I'm going to dedicate it to marketing. And once I started doing that, everything changed for my business. Because if you give 100% of your time and attention to one area, everything else is going to falter. And that was really, really hard for me to actually get down to where, okay, I got it. I understand it. I know how to work it. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect, but this has helped so much to structure my business life.
I also want to piggyback on that because you talked about this at Noe. And Nikki and I were like, holy cow, we should probably do that. That sounds so much more attainable than what we, you know, and we're time blockers. And I'm a big time blocker because of the kids and because like I still do drop off and pickups. And so I block my time out and I started to feel like I'm all over the place. Like I'm doing this for a couple hours and I'm doing this and I just did not feel that I was as efficient as I could have. So when you said, I was like, that makes so much sense. So we sat down and I was like, okay, strategy and operations. This is going to be on this day. And we literally did that. And it's only been a few weeks, but we immediately already felt like, oh, we can breathe now. Because like we know. And then also we're bringing in some interns. So we have 4 interns coming in, 4 of them. We're just wrapping up a semester with 1 intern. And so it's like now that we can delegate. Oh my gosh, I'll send you the information because they're 20 hours a week, Alana. 4 of them. Yes. So really that's 80 hours.
Oh, I need it. I am so envious. I didn't even know where to start. That's awesome.
I'm going to say, awesome. I mean, is it that you don't know where to start with the intern or is it like the delegation part?
Yeah, I didn't know if I had to like reach out to the schools, if there was a specific program. And you know what happens when things become complex, you just brush it to the side. And that's what happened in my situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. I'm going to send, because I did the same thing for Ariel. She's actually coming on after this. But yes, no, seriously, there's 4 and okay,
awesome.
When we think about like that delegation part, right? You said like solopreneur, and it's very easy to just fall into the I got it, I'll do it, or it's going to take me much longer. So the pure fact of even being able to look at your days like that, because you're going to have to hand it off at some point to somebody. And so my mindset has always been, if this is something that I'm doing repetitively and I know that it's something that is not giving me really an ROI but it has to be done, I can turn it into like a process and somebody else can handle it. And so with the interns, that's your scheduling was really like the catalyst of that, because it's like, okay, I see it more clear now. So even some of those things, like they can't take over everything, right? But some of those things now they can see too on my schedule and on my calendar what's going on in the day, and they're going to be able to do it. So thank you, because that came directly from you.
I'm glad that helps, because then you can start to see progress.
Yeah. And even so, I mean, we're much earlier stage than you are in your business, because you've had Kinkz now for how long?
It's been 5 years now, and I cannot believe that. I cannot believe it's been 5. I count the actual time as starting in 2022 because so that'll make it 2 years, because I can say before that, I treated it bad. I treated my business like, oh, you want something for free? Here, girl. Like, I was giving it away. I just didn't realize the gems that I had. I had to work on myself to actually accept and be confident in my business. So it took a while. So I say 2022 was 2 years, but technically it's been 5.
I think that opens up another direction, because I was recently having this discussion about yourself and your business. Tell me, when you say you've had to work on yourself, what does that mean?
So this is such a deep story for me. I, for the longest time, struggled with confidence, self-confidence. I mean, and it's the strangest thing because, Courtney, I was in the director of operations position, and I would confidently speak these board meetings. I would run a huge meeting of about 200 employees flawlessly without a problem. But the minute that I had to speak on my business, I would introduce myself as Alana Scott. You wouldn't hear anything about Kinkz because I hadn't found my confidence in myself. It was easy to have confidence in someone else's business, but for me, absolutely not. And I did not really start to see impact from my business until I went on a retreat, which it was to Jamaica. It was amazing. And it worked on self. And you had to unlock where all of that self-doubt was coming from. And that retreat changed my life because I really got to the core of why I don't have confidence in myself and where is it coming from? Where did it stem from? And the minute that I was able to heal from that and come off of that trip and believe in myself and do mirror work, it was so many amazing things, affirmations, and start to believe in myself, then I was able to believe in my business. But it had to start with me first. And when I tell you it changed everything, that is when my business skyrocketed. Because again, even though I went full-time to my business, I was still treating it like a side hustle. I was like, I don't know if people really going to like it. The minute that I gained my confidence, everything blossomed. So it starts with yourself. You have to work on yourself. If not, you're not going to be able to really push your business because you're not going to believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, no one else will.
I love that you said that. I really do, because I feel like as somebody who can relate to the kind of, I feel like it's the biggest mirror, like my business and where I'm at currently is like, here are all the holes you have, right, Courtney. What are you going to do about it? Here's where you're maybe lacking. Here's where you could be more disciplined. Right. Here's where you need to say no more, say yes more. Mm-hmm. Right? Investing in yourself. Like, I feel like entrepreneurship thus far has been an immense journey inward.
Absolutely. The greatest advice I ever received was you have to look at how do you foresee your business in the long run? And I see it as a multi-million-dollar business. Well, they said at the stage you are right now, you have to treat it like a multi-million-dollar business. And I started off at a home office. So at my home office, I would barely go in there. I had to force myself to go in there. It was a mess. Like, I didn't even have it together. I just didn't care for it. I didn't have even a trash can in there. Like, it was the smallest thing, but it was big. And so once I went on that journey and I started healing, the first place that I started was my office. I said, it may be a home office, but it's $1 million headquarters to me. And I bought my first, and this is small to most people, but buying my first trash can was such a moment. It was such a moment, but I knew if God blessed me with this home office, I'm going to take care of it like it's my headquarters. And I know that the next step, once he sees that I can take care of this business and pour into this business, then he'll bless me with what comes next. And I tell you, no lie, 3 months later, when I was like, I'm not ready for a suite or anything yet, but I'm just going to look at the prices. The next month I was in a suite because I had no room. The orders started flushing in and I had no choice but to actually get a suite. And that's that's how fast it happens. When he knows you're ready, when you are really ready to elevate. And it took me taking my business serious. And even at the headquarters now, the suite, it's not the biggest warehouse that I want, but it's my multi-million-dollar headquarters. That's how I treat it, because I know that this is what the future is for me. All about how you treat your business, your mindset for your business, and you sticking to the vision and focusing on that. And I mean, that was a game changer for me.
Oh, I love this conversation. That actually is such a great segue, because we're going to talk about your approach to business and how that's evolved since you first started Kinkz.
So it's been a roller coaster for me with business, because I have a mindset of I'm just going to work for someone else. And I don't ever take that away from anyone else. But for my journey, I was content with, I literally said, I'm going to retire at this company. The idea of running my own business was very scary. And it was because I grew up in my household, my dad was an entrepreneur since I was in the 8th grade. And it was amazing to see his evolution, but it was very scary once I started to be able to process it. And when I saw the ups and downs he went through and some of the conversations he had to go through, I was not excited about that. I quickly changed my focus and said, everything isn't for everyone. This is one thing that's not for me, more power to him. But once I started to realize just how quickly I was just drawn to business. I didn't realize it until my husband and a few other people brought it to my attention. Like, this, I think this is just for you. You may not see it, but I think you're meant to be an entrepreneur, because I kept finding myself in operations. I started off as a dental assistant for this previous job. I had no intent. I don't even know why I went to dental assistant school, but I went there and I did it, and I ended up finding myself on the business side of dentistry, and then climbing up the ladder, passing people with these huge degrees, and finding myself in the position right under the CEO. And even then, at that point, I wasn't convinced that business was for me. I'm just meant to assist him. But when somebody shaped it in a question of do you want to build your own dream or you want to build his dream? That's what changed it for me. And I'm there's going to be many areas of weakness that you find yourself in, Lena. You're not this hardcore disciplinarian. You're not this person who's amazing at the details and logistics, but you are meant to be a leader, and you're meant to be a leader of your own business. And so that changed my relationship with it. And it opened up my eyes to the fact that I did have natural talents within business. I was great at operations and execution. And the other areas that I'm not too good at, it's once I realized, okay, I'm not great at financing, that's not an excuse. You have to go and get the help. And that's when I started to find myself in accelerated programs and doing research, nights of research, asking for help, sitting with different founders, getting their perspective on areas that were weak for me, but strengths for them. And I started to take all of those weak areas and turn them into strengths, because I think that holds a lot of us back. Is I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. No one is good at everything. I'm sorry. That's just, you're not going to find that. And that's the goal is you build on your strengths. And once you build up your company enough and you get the help from where you can get the help from, then you can hire the help in your weak areas. But that held me back for a long time. I'm not good at finances. How can I run a business? I have no idea what to do with marketing. How can I run a business? You use what talents you were given and you build from it. But so that's what helped me to realize that business is not about being this top dog and knowing it all. It's about knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and doing what you have to do to turn a weakness into a strength. Gaining help you can, which is not easy as a solopreneur. But again, that's why there's programs out there that allow for you to get that help. There's other founders who love to lend help and share their story about what helped them along the journey. So we have to get out of our own way sometimes. And that's what helped me to have a much better relationship with business.
Wow. What do you think has been the most rewarding aspect of working in Kinkz, creating your baby and going through the process over the last 5 years?
I can say it's when I go to events the things that I used to stray away from. So I hated going to events and talking to people. But when I started to do it, and I would go to these events, and these women are like, girl, where have you been all my life? Like, I have been looking for a product like yours. That has sometimes brought me to tears where I have to turn. You have no idea how that feels. And it's not about, oh, I have thousands and thousands of people buying my product. To hear that from one person is enough. It was a game changer for me, because it kind of confirmed that, you know what, women do need this product. Because you sometimes question, did I jump the gun? Did I really, did the world need this product, or did I just assume that? And when you go to these events, when you go to pitch competitions, and I come off stage and women pull me to the side and they're like, your story, I relate to it so much. That was me. Girl, I felt the same way at corporate America. Like, this is amazing. I'm going to buy your product. Men that are like, I have no hair, but I'm going to buy your product because you inspire me. That has been the most rewarding part of my business, because it shows that I'm making change in the world, and I'm putting my feetness in and leaving an imprint. And that's all you can ask for. And sometimes you think too big, where it's like, no, if I'm not changing the lives of tens of thousands of people, then what am I actually doing? You are doing a lot. Because from one person, they can pass that on to 3 people, then 10 people. It's a ripple effect. And so I started to get out of my own head and realize, like, this is something that's really big. And that's my level of success. It doesn't have to be millions in the bank for me to feel successful. Hearing that from people made me feel like, man, I'm actually successful. This is amazing.
That's a really great point, because especially I think as entrepreneurs, and as maybe you're listening and you're either starting, or maybe you're farther along even, right? You've had your business for a long time. But I do think it's important,
right,
at any level, that we're continuing to define what success is, because it might be millions of dollars, and that's also fine. But it also may be something like what you're saying, right? Where had something similar. I had somebody recently reach out to me via email about the podcast and how they were going through a hard, and I'm like, super imposter feeling of that. Like, I felt really like like, but it was a long email that Leah sent, and it was like, I was going through a really hard time, and you just keep doing the work. And I was like, that's the funny thing about God. I feel like that's the funny thing about God, is like, you put it out, and then like, those types of things, people have no idea how big that is coming back when you receive it back, because it feels very lonely. It feels like, am I doing the right thing? Am I actually making a difference? Yes. Am I doing anything that the world actually cares about? So it's like one person, and I love that you said that. It's never just one person. Right? Because whatever, if it was your products or your story, they're going to go share it and be like, oh yeah, I heard it. Right. And it makes a huge impact, and it's rippling, right? You talking, just sharing about your scheduling. And then we were able to get insight and say, oh, wow, we can be more productive this way. Let's see if it works for us, and if it works better. And so it's just, I feel like that was a really, really beautiful thing that you said. And it's just like a testament of who you are. Like, I feel like you're like light in human form all the time. Anytime we've ever come in contact with you. And it's just really, it's so special to see that in business, because as you know, you worked in a corporate space, right? It's just not, everybody's just not that way. And so it's really nice to find people who actually have more mission-driven work, and that they care about the mission and the people, the customer. Like, that's really, you care about it.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. That's
everything. Yeah, for sure. And I know we're, kind of coming up on time. I've kept you a little longer since we started a little later, but I want to make sure that I respect your time. I do want to know, How do you see natural hair care industry evolving in the next few years? And how do you envision Kinkz like playing a role in that evolution?
So what I love about, like, what I love that helps me stand apart is that I'm noticing this, and I'm a researcher. I've looked at so many brands that have been out there that offer, like, again, like a really cheap product. Like, let's give the curly girl something. That's how I feel. I feel like we're the stepchildren of the hair care industry. And so I want viewers, I want you to pay attention to this the next time you go into a beauty store. You will see layers of hair creams and shampoos and all of these things. Like, we have aisles now, which I'm very proud of, because natural hair care, again, always took the back burner. But when you go to the hair accessory side, we have like a slither. It's so small, and it just shows the picture that I'm trying to paint when I'm on stage and talking about how there is a lack of diversity when it comes to hair care tools. And this is for women with curly hair, period. And when you look around and you see, you know, how many women are telling me, I've had so many women with straight hair that I didn't even know their hair was curly. Like, you couldn't even tell, that are like, I feel what you're saying. I've been covering my hair up for years because I just don't like it. I don't feel like it's accepted. And so what I'm hoping is that my products, which I see this so clearly, will allow for the hair care industry to expand and become not just a place that provides quick solutions or like something that just keeps up with the trends, but they're actually trying to solve this problem. This is beyond my hair is coarse. I need something that can really get through it. This is what's the word that I'm trying to use? This is self-esteem attached to this. Is confidence that's attached to this. Women who have curly hair lack a lot of confidence because there's not acceptance, there's lack of tools, there's lack of guidance. And it's not something that's very welcoming when you walk in any store. You don't see this broadcasted like, this is the curly hair section. It's something that's more of like a shun. And when I created Kinkz, it wasn't just to create the hair ties. Like, that's one part of it that I'm so excited about because women are loving it. But my goal was to take anything that's complex and simplify it. Because yes, there are solutions out there for curly hair, but how simple are they to use? Not at all. Like, it is so difficult for me to find even a simple shampoo and conditioner that works for me. And so my goal is to say, okay, you know, when my hair is straight, this brush that I use is very easy to use for my hair. Well, I want to create that same type of brush for women with curly hair. I'm hoping to solve the issue that many people don't realize is a huge issue for women with curly hair, and that's the lack of simplicity. Everything takes longer. Like, when I say how long it normally would take before to do a ponytail, they're like, are you serious? It does not take that long because you don't have curly hair. But when you have curly hair, it goes beyond just taking a ponytail holder and putting it in your hair. You have to mold your hair. You have to cut the shoestring. That's what I use. Cut the shoestring, tie it up in a certain way, tuck it in. It's so much more. And so the hair ties allow for one piece of simplicity. Imagine what we can do 5 years from now when we take all of these different tools and we simplify detangling and overnight protection and wash day, like the things that many people don't realize is so complex, and we simplify. So again, the industry has given certain solutions that they feel will accomplish the job, but I haven't seen anyone try to simplify it and say, look, girl, you can get your hair done now just as quick as someone with straight hair. And that's my goal. So it helps to set us apart because I'm not trying to just give you a product. I'm trying to get you an easy product, but that also doesn't damage your hair.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, listen, I have a protective style because of that exact reason. My hair is not so curly, and I have different textures on my head. And it's like, in this particular season of my life, I don't want to get up every day and do my hair. I just don't. It takes so long. No one understands, like, not no one, but people who don't have curly hair. And they're like, oh, but it's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, but you know how long it takes me to make it beautiful and the hassle. And then I got to make sure that I have to wet it and I have to like redo my hair every single day So it's
Exactly.
just too much. It's too much work. Like, I don't want to do
It
that
is.
at all.
No
But
one
even,
has
even,
time to.
even for this hair, it's learning though new, like I probably really need to get the product, because having a certain type, like I can't just pull my hair up in a hair tie with this hair either. And I realized, like, I was in the beach and I was like not trying to get my whole hair completely wet, and it was just like a whole thing. And then I was pulling my hair. I was like, I definitely need to use your products, like for sure.
Yes. They work great for braids, Seneca lace twists, like, because that's heavier hair. You're trying to put a band around it. You put the hair tie up, 5 seconds. It'll change your life.
Okay, I gotta get my life together for this. So tell the people where they can find you if they would like to learn more, and we'll also include it in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Instagram and Facebook, you can find us at kinkshair.com. I'm sorry, at Kinkz Hair. And on TikTok, you can find us at Kinkz Hair Products. It's a little longer, but TikTok gave us an issue. But our website is www.kinkshair.com. And we will also be at Essence Festival this year, July 5th through the 7th. So if you guys are traveling in town, I know that's a big girls trip, aka the movie. Make sure to come and see us. We'll be a part of BeautyCon. Super excited about that, to meet so many people, so many amazing women.
Oh my gosh, that's major. Congratulations.
Yes.
That is so great. You guys are going to do so good there.
Thank you for tuning in to the WarriorHER Podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from our incredible guests.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Follow us on all social media platforms to stay up to date. And remember, girls really do run the world.
Even when I lose, I'm winning. Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. Cause even when I lose, I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now. I don't ever take it now.